Children of Paradise is a French drama film about 4 men who are going after a Coruscant woman. Before I get to this review, leave a follow more film content. This is one of those films on the top 250 Letterboxd narrative films that I never would have heard of if it wasn't for that list. Which, gathering up some knowledge that I learned, this is considered to be the best French film of all time. So with this being over 3 hours long, I was curious of whether or not this movie felt justified to deserve that title. For me personally, I definitely could understand the appeal, even though I don't think it's all that great, but I still think it's pretty good. The performances are very solid, that we get to know so much about these characters in such a gargantuan runtime that you really do get a vibe of these characters, which you understand why they want to go after this Coruscant woman. We get to see the perspectives from an actor, a mime, aristocrat, and a criminal, where it really does a good job of exploring these characters for the most part. Stage play scenes are actually very entertaining to watch. I was curious of what the story lies in that stage play, despite the fact there is no dialogue. It's also visually stunning to look at, with the huge aesthetic of the stage play, or even the town that they're living in, that it's really beautiful looking film. There's a lot of romance going on that if this was a shorter film, this would not work, but for the most part, it really works of how long this movie is. Which I think the first half of the movie does start off strong, but when we get to the second half of the film, it's not as interesting. Because while the stuff going on with the mime and actor is actually very interesting, when we get to the aristocrat and the criminal, they're just not all that engaging. I find the characters to be somewhat flat and just uninteresting in terms of them going into the business side of things, of that perspective, that it's just not as interesting as the movie thinks it is. Like, I was way more interested of the business side of things of the stage play than whatever the second half of the movie is going on, and I do think that the ending was a little odd to end on. Like, it just ends abruptly, that while there is a scene before that I thought was very fantastically done, I just thought that the ending was just kind of out of nowhere. Children of Paradise is still a solid film that felt mostly justified of its runtime due to its great characters and some very interesting storylines going on in the first half, even though the second half is not quite as effective, but still alright enough for it to not be huge detriment to the film itself. I give this film a 7 out of 10. If you like this review, leave a like, favorite, and follow for more film review content.